Yo, 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 what's going on, family? GM. Thanks for coming in early. Got 32 of you guys in here before I even showed up. I appreciate that. If you could share this out, get more people into the chat, it'd be great. And we'll get this thing started in a second. I'm running a little behind this morning because just a busy morning. Doing the GMs, doing the prep and everything like that. It's crazy. Everything in my day is like on the other side of what I usually plan. Like I got a space that I'm going to be in with dog game. I got the Simply Chilling at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys want to come in there and tap in, join the conversation, would really appreciate that. So we also at 4 p.m. we're going to be doing the one-on-one with Marky. He's got a busy day. Typically we do those at 11 o'clock. I'll see if there's something in the middle, but the luxury I have right now is a shitload of time, so I can just adjust my schedule. It could be in the middle of the night. If you're on the other side of the world, you want to link up and do something cool, I'd be more than happy to make that happen. But give me 1 second here. Oh, got my DGods hat in. Pretty happy about that. It's just one of those collector items. I didn't remember ordering it. I'll tell you the story in a second. Give me 1 second. Just had my first sip of coffee in the shower today. I started a new thing. I'm going completely sober, and we'll talk about that too and why. But it's just, hold on, 118 days left too. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's get into it. And if you guys are in here, you want to join the conversation, just a reminder, you don't have to show your face. You could just be a PFP. You can join the conversation just like that. Let me know. I could send you a link, and you guys are more than welcome to join in here and, add to the chat. Always welcome for that kind of thing. This is supposed to be just like a space. This is the one thing. You're going to see all of these new creators. They're going to video. Kaido has just announced that they're going to Instagram and all of that. So you're going to see a shit load of people starting to become regular content creators or whatever. Congratulations. I'm glad you did that. There's going to be people that are going to leapfrog you too. You just have to remember you started this a long time ago and they weren't even in the picture. Don't fucking include them into it now. But hey, use that as more fuel. Use that as a reason to keep going. But that's not the quote of the day. Typically when we get in here, guys, I like to start off with the quote of the day. I like to make sure our mindset is kind of like on the same page. We're thinking the same way, or we're just thinking in general. That's one of the hardest things to do is think. Most people don't. They just act, they respond, or they react, they don't respond. And one thing on the timeline is it's easy to curate a really nice post, but to be the embodiment of that teaching, I think there's a lot of people that fall short on that. I think there's a lot of people that are in positions of community building, managing and stuff like that, where they use their opinions, their feelings to guide their direction instead of turning a blind eye and treating the people they want to be treated. So even if you don't like somebody, the fact that you're not doing the small things in this space, it says a lot about your character. And well, there's other things that go into that. So just don't take it to heart. Don't hold it, personally. That's not your situation to marinate on. For me, that shit bugs the fuck out of me. I'm not even gonna front. It gets me into a position where it's just like, what the fucking fuck? But either way, that's life, and life does continue to go on. Shout out to Matt and Web3. Homie shows up so fucking often, and I got to shout out to people like that, man, because it's that's the reason I'm here. Web3 is a global community where everybody has an opportunity to contribute, to add, to grow, to prosper, to build, to do whatever the hell you want to, man. And the only reason you stop is because your own decisions. And you could say, oh, this person don't like me, or this person's making it hard, or this and that and another thing. Fuck that. Fuck that. It's on you. You let that shit bother you so much that they won, and you gave into the bullshit. We're still not at the quote of the day, but it leads up to it. So let's get this thing started. And sounds like the volume might be a little high real quick. Dun, dun, dun. And we're down. That sounds better. So if you can't handle the struggle, you don't deserve the success. Most people get stuck overthinking. They plan, they talk, but they never take that first step. The ones who moved, even imperfectly, are the ones who make progress. If you've been sitting on an idea, it's time to act now. So if you have a list of ideas, get your index cards, write that shit down, or take some notes on what to do next. Because that's the only way that I know how to stay on track, because you can have a million ideas. If you don't make them real, they're just thoughts. They're just ideas, and typically they're gone. You know, the next thing is going to happen is somebody didn't do something, or your coffee was not hot enough, or I don't know. There's a million different things that can come into play, and you just don't have direction. And that's the biggest thing. One of my biggest problems in this space is, or was, one of the biggest hurdles I had to start to attack it and really look at is, what is my process? What is my system? What am I trying to do? Mainly to make a living out of this. There still are questions that I don't have the answer to yet, but I know that if I just continue to move forward, those will probably be answered. And, you know, I applied for an internship yesterday for a gaming company, see what happens with that. And I mean, it's just taking shots. That's the name of the game. So without further ado, guys, again, if you can't handle the struggle, you're not going to be able to get to success. That comes in everything in life. Your trade, you have to, you know, sometimes, unfortunately, you got to wait for them to go down before they go up. Typically, when they go down, they hit that point of reversal, and you're blessed with, you know, abundance. And you got to accept that abundance, you know, unconditionally. And that means accepting some failure with that, accepting it might not go the way you want to, and you might even fuck up that trade, but you had control of it. You could have put your stop loss in. You could have exited when you weren't sure of it, but typically you're doing just fine. And let me just be a reminder, like, don't let the small shit worry you. The reason you got into this space is probably the reason that you're still here. Anybody's opinion about you, anybody's judgment, reaction, or treatment towards you really isn't your shit to worry about. The right people will show up over and over and over. And you know, me as a community member, being somebody that has had struggles, I'm the motherfucker that's going to come out and be like, no, you don't just push somebody to the side. You reach out to them and say, yo, what's going on? Is there something I can help with? And it's not about just giving anything to anybody. It's giving your time sometimes is all it is. Like, there's certain things in life that you guys take for granted. And I made a post this morning about that. You know, what are you grateful for? And it doesn't have to be, you know, a Lambo. It doesn't have to be a bunch of money or this sweet D-Gods hat that I got here. For me, it's simple things. It's the things that money can't buy. It's the things that I honestly think that most people really, really take this stuff for granted. And, you know, I'm going to share, let me move this over here so I don't have to break my fucking neck. And I'm going to share this one with you just because I really appreciate this dude showing up all the time. But I put this out there. So what are you grateful for? And I said, waking up, bottom line, just getting up and having another day. There's some people that didn't have that chance today. And I think my cousin, Mad Vincent, he posted something about his father. So rest in peace, brother. Love you, homie. And that's got to be tough. But family and friends, that's another thing. Oh, no, that's somebody else's. Waking up, health. You know, for me, being 37 and being able to outwork most of the people that are half my age or they think that they're hot shit, like, bro, I'm so grateful for the abilities that I have because I just show up every single day, even the days I don't want to. I make it a point to get out there and do something, work towards my goals, and you know, stay healthy, eat good, try to treat my body good, treat my body the way I want it to look and perform. You know, this is something people don't like to hear, but I think I wrote it down here. This book is from 2020 or 2019. It's from when I was fucking married, dude. It's crazy. But I got books in here suggestions. Like here, Striking Thoughts. It's Bruce Lee's Wisdom for Daily Living. We got Tools for Titans by Tim Ferriss. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. So like, there's a ton of like juicy stuff in here. But the quotes that I have in here, look how old this stuff is, guys. I'm telling you, like, this is an old ass little notebook. But I believe in writing this stuff down because you never know when it's going to come back around. And I hold on to these things because this has been my plan. And this is before I got into investing, which is really crazy too. So your physical body is a reflection of you. If you don't believe that, take another good look in the mirror. Are you willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to struggle? Are you willing to grind when it's hard? Are you willing to show up day after day, knowing that you're not going to see the results? But if you make it a month, 60 days, 3 months, you'll probably see a result, whether you're trying to lose or gain. It's consistent effort. If you take a weekend off, it will set you back. It sucks. It's just the way it is. But you can pick back up where you left off. One of the things I use, and I tell everybody, use index cards, use paper and pen, like make that shit real. Use a calendar, use a schedule, use reminders, use Chat GBT or whatever chat ABC that you can come up with that's going to give you that edge to help you stay, in the loop. One of the homies tacked that I was kind of going back and forth with about speed and all of that dumb shit. I shared with him, what do I do? Like, he uses some automated stuff for his systems. What I do is I just really live that shit where it's every single thing is real. Like I type, I execute and all of that, and I have it planned out like that. And he has a very similar system, but I think he automates his a little bit differently and uses that, but it works for him. Like, it's not, disservice. The guy was just on that Mario and Luigi fall space or whatever the fuck it is or something like that. And he was like, he hit his goal. He's trying to continuously grow his following and his audience. And he said from being in that space, he ended up getting an opportunity to speak, gained his followers. And those are the things that, that matter. Like, his goals are not mine. So I have no say on how to approach it, but we go back and forth. And some things he'll tell me, I'm like, I don't like that. But I listen to it and I take something from it. And, seeing him hit his goals and literally following the structure, following the plans that he has, it's what's doing it. But yeah, man. The other one is vision. And I mean this in two cents. This is a twofer. Literally vision, being able to see things, like being an artist. I could not imagine not having vision. That would be devastating. So when you're doing stuff where shit can get in your eyes, put safety glasses on. I work construction for a long time. I know it sounds dumb as fuck, but safety glasses probably saved me a few different times. But anything could happen. Just vision. I'm very, very grateful to have that. Now, the other sense of that is your vision of where you're going, what you want to happen. And I see this come up. This is actually something we used yesterday. We live who we believe we are. It's a quote that I had in this little book here. And that's vision. You have to be able to see where you're going. I see my goals. I repeat my affirmations every single day, and I add to them. I remove some that no longer suit me if it's something I'm not in my heart of hearts excited about. And having the ability to see where I'm going before I get there and all of that stuff, it's a very special place to be. And I don't mean to be too trippy on you guys, but try this. Take 5 minutes today. Write a note to yourself from the future to yourself right now, and like add whatever it is. Like, yo, man, thank God you didn't give up in 2025. That summer was hard, but you made it. You know what I mean? And that shit might pull some stuff out of you that you didn't know was there, and it might give you that fuel to be like, you know what, I can see this. I know I can do this shit. So I don't know. Hope that helped you today. Hope that gets your mind right and get you in gear, because that's the thing, man. Like, the one thing I've noticed is my biggest struggles become the biggest gift. Your struggles, your gift to the world. It's the stuff that you get to share with people and tell them, like, yo, you don't have to like this, but this is what it is. And you don't have to like me, but this is for everybody. If the shoe fits, put that motherfucker on, lace it up. Unless there's slip-ons, then make sure you got clean socks on, because then you have some grody ass feet, and that's another story. But anyway, guys, let's get into the intro. My name is SMS. I'm a content creator focused on the Solana ecosystem, working to keep Solana simple for everyone. That means you and everybody outside. I want people that are just coming into the game, understanding that you can be your own bank. You can use your own wallet, like Solflare, be self-custodial. You can have the same security features that these huge mega corporations have in the palm of your hands. Talking about the Seeker, very excited about that to come out. That is literally the never, I'll leave that alone. But the seeker is a huge part of everything going forward for me. Um, but yeah, it's showing people that are in the struggle, the people working 9 to 5s, not just the people that are nerdy that want to get in here. I want people that, earn a living, be like, I save this money and it's going to take me 15 years. Well, pimping, if you take just a little bit of this, this alpha, this could help you. And I want to get to the point where I can go, walk down the campus and just talk to 1,000 people. And even if I get 100 on there, those 100 people, they talk to one person. You know what I mean? That just starts to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And that's what I want to do. Those kind of things I want to go to baseball games and, rock a shirt with some other homies and just talk to people and be like, go Phillies. Shout out to D-Gods for keeping it 100 and matching the Phillies. I know you didn't do this on purpose, but I really do appreciate that. Because yeah, go Phillies. But that's the thing, man. It's keeping it simple for everyone. It's not a gimmick. Solana is pretty simple, but it can be broken down even more because some people don't understand how to get involved. And that's one of my goals, is making sure that is the message. SMS is the message that I deliver, is keeping it simple for everybody. So coming from that background, understanding that I used to think that this is the only way. Even when I was previously married, raising, a child, it's like I thought that I had a safe job, secure lifestyle, and that's a joke. I don't have that job anymore. I don't have that mindset. I don't want to be there. I will do what it takes to get the job done because, that's what we were raised. Like, trade your time for money and make sure you show up on time and you listen to your boss. The thing about it is they will treat you like shit if you give them too much. And that's just the nature of those people. They got a lot of stress. They got their own lives and they took that on. But the thing about me is, me being a leader, I treat people the way I want to be treated. I treat people the exact same way that I think I would like to be talked to. I won't ask you to do something that I haven't done or I'm not willing to do. Even if I don't like you, I understand I need to turn the cheek because there's a greater good. SMS is a lot bigger than me. It is my name, but Solana Made Simple, it's supposed to be much, much bigger. I would love to dive into Solflare Made Simple. That's why I made that video on the wallet, to explain what Solflare is, how you guys can get involved, and why that wallet, in my opinion, is one of the premier wallets, if not the #1 wallet. There are some other good wallets out there, but I'm Team Solflare. It works with what I got, so I'm not going to knock that. I'm going to continue to go, and it's not predicated on anybody else's determination. It's on me, my efforts, and those will shine through. So just keep that in mind when you guys are thinking about your goals and what you want to do. Make sure they align with what you feel true in your heart, because even if you're working towards something, there might be somebody's sensitivity that can get in the way of that. I've been there. You can't let that stop. If you believe it, that's what you should be doing, bottom line. And you don't always have to have the answers. You just have to have the willingness to go. Like, this shit is not on purpose, or on accident. Everything is on purpose, and you are meant to go through that. Like I said, the struggle is your gift, and if you can't handle that, you don't deserve what's coming, and you probably should get the 9 to 5, work for Amazon, and get a boss. Like, they will tell you where you should go, when to get there, and how to get there, and they will, that's the way it is. You can move up in them. You can have a successful, good life with that. There's no reason not to do that. My crazy ass is in a position where the only responsibility is I have is myself. If shit hits the fan, I can always pick up from where I left off. I can pick up the pieces. I don't have all of the same things that everybody else is going to have. I don't have the supporting cast, the family, friends, and all of that kind of stuff, but I got me. And I got my faith, and those are some of the things that will always take you further. And to speak on that, I wanted to share this with Alien Brain. If you guys don't follow Alien Brain, it's at Gabby_Max. This motherfucker shows up every single day, and I can't knock that. I can't dismiss the fact that there's some people that just constantly are showing up to support. And I think they said yesterday was, I'm here to support your journey on the way up. Like, I can see that there's stuff that I say and do that some people take and they start to walk with that. And that's a W for me all day. If I can help you on that end, shit, that's crazy. And if anybody's listening to this, look, DMs are always open. I'm here for the stuff that people don't want to deal with. I'm here to have that conversation you might not want to hear the answer to, but I'm going to shoot it straight. No punches pulled here, and it's all love. It's sometimes a tough love. The hardest situation I ever went through, my professor, I went to the gym and I was like, yo, this is what I got. And he was like, you're going to have to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. And I was like, fuck you. And he was like, no, I'm dead ass serious. Go get in the mat right now. Let's go. And I was like, I don't have it today. He was like, no. Today is the day you change your life. You change that direction. You can't be weak. There's things I lost that meant the world to me. And if I didn't have that person to say, fuck you, pussy, it's time to get that shit done, I wouldn't be here. Bottom line, that shit would not in a living sense. I mean, like, I just wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be the person I am today. I'd be that hurt victim, whatever. But Alien Brain said good health, family and friends, a good relationship with God. And I love those. Good health, again, number one thing. Health is wealth. Family and friends, if you got that, here in this space or outside, regular day-to-day life, that's fucking great. Not everybody has that. So being grateful for those things. And I got about like 1 or 2 people in my back pocket, but it's not a lot. I'd made a lot of sacrifices to make sure that I could fully be in this. And some people will say, oh, that's not the way to go. It's like, well, I'm not going to continue to chase the things that were destroying my fucking life. I didn't make the best decisions, and I had to turn things around, get into the gym, be dedicated. And the biggest thing was I saw younger people were starting to listen to me, and not in like a like authority, just paying attention to what I'm putting down and being the hardest worker in the room. Like, there's an energy that I bring into the gym, and that's I relate a lot of this stuff to the gym just because, like, that's where I spent a lot of my growing. I won't say I grew much in high school and the teenage years. I didn't grow in my 20s until I hit like 23, 24, and got arrested, got locked up and shit like that. And like losing my freedom was like the first thing I was like, fuck that shit. But fuck that shit. Like, I still like doing wood red shit with my friends, but getting locked up will change your perspective on a lot of things. And the conversations you have with those people, I think those are very, very important. If you don't listen to them, you'll probably end up back in that situation. But again, life is short. Make it worth living. I mean, I've seen people that are top of the charts at the later parts of their lives, early parts of their lives, but going through those struggles, man, going through those learning lessons will really, really change the game for you. So think about it today. Go get a piece of paper, rip it in half, make index cards if you don't have. Hold on. Write down what you're grateful for and look at that throughout the day. See if it doesn't help make you feel a little bit better when you're having a bad time. If you don't get, the results you wanted. And speaking of results, I got a trade in that I was telling Pat about. Very similar to that last trade. And I think it's doing pretty good. All right, let's get back to this. So, yeah, that's that. I post daily across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and X. Like I said, getting into video content was the name of the game back in 2024. A lot of people getting into it now. Oh, damn, this is down a little bit. Yeah, oh, well. Well, it's right where I want it. It looks like it's waiting to make that move. Anyway, I'll talk more about that trade later. So getting into this, I post daily across that. So the video content, something I saw very clearly was the way to go because people don't read. Most of you don't even read. That's why we have Info5, because nobody was reading the documents. Nobody was reading the real information. They're looking for the quick buck, the quick trade, the hype train. Going into the docs, reading all of the nerdy shit. Like yesterday when the bonk game wasn't working live, even though I'm terribly terrible at that game. Going through the documents, seeing what the Ready token was all about, seeing how they have the buyback and how they're supporting the ecosystem. That's something I align with. That's something I would really, really like to talk more with the team and get in touch with them because I like the idea of everything they got. And I bought it back because I see very similar catalysts that could set that up. I mean, look at how long it took Klano to get the deal that they got. Could you imagine if a gaming company that has a viable game with amazing IP with the number one blockchain, it's their number one meme coin? Can you imagine the traction that could get? That's where my head is when I start thinking about things. But like I said, I break it down for what's happening in crypto, keeping people informed without the noise, without the extra shit. Like Trump did not release a wallet until after there was a wallet announcement. I made a video about that. The little bit of a speculation around that it's a scam, yada yada yada. Magic Eden, they got a team of fucking crack devs. Of course they're going to take job opportunities. Of course they're going to work with some of the most popular memes in the game, especially on Solana. Like, why wouldn't they do that? That's crazy to think that they're scamming people out again. But hey, if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. I'm not here to argue that. My point is just to share the information out there for the rest of the world that doesn't tap into X. Not everybody gets on this fucking app. You won't realize that until you get off the app. You go to real life and be like, hey, what's your X? They'll be like, what are you talking about? I don't even use that. I'm a dev. And those are the people designing the stuff that matters. So they need a little bit of more insight. You need to reach these people. And now the other people that are your customers, people say that, retail's coming. Look, brother, we are retail. We shop at retail stores. We are not institutional. We are not BlackRock. We are not any of these people outside of retail. So just stop with that. Very, very crazy thought process there, but keeping it simple, breaking it down for everybody and anybody willing to listen. And, as I continue to grow, I continue to see the numbers go up. You're not always going to trend, but as long as you consistently post content every single day, 1 to 2 videos a day, whether it's long or short form, you have a structure, you have a schedule, you have a calendar, you have routines, you have deadlines, you will see growth. You will grow in this space, and it will just continue to go. Like, if you stop, I promise you that will be the only reason that you fail. If you hit a roadblock and you feel like this is one of the things that's really annoying. People are like, I don't know what to create anymore. It's like, what? Go talk to somebody not in the space. There's a million things you can explain to them. What's an ALM, or what's an LLM? What's APY? What's APR? What's DeFi? Just explain what the fuck DeFi is. You can be your own banker. You can hold the keys to the vault. That's really, really simple concept. Make a video about it. People think that they need to have the most cutting edge thing. Trust me, bro. Like, the evergreen content is your bread and butter. Trying to catch the hottest, latest news, like, not everybody gives a shit about that, and it fades out quicker. Like, the loud stuff, that's the stuff that is the noise. You got to look a little bit deeper, and break it down like that. Like, again, with the wallet, like, is that wallet a good thing? I don't know. I signed up for the waitlist, though. There's $1 million in rewards that could come out of that. Why wouldn't I, jump into that and see if I could, take part of that? There's a referral code, all of that kind of stuff. I don't have the best luck with referrals, but I did get one on the little yapper thingy. Kaido, that was sick. I never get fucking referrals, but I ended up getting one. I don't even know who the person was. I was like, hell yeah, I'll take it. But my goal with Spaces, streams, and making content, again, is to highlight the people in the network and the ones building, sharing, and shaping the future of crypto and Web3. Like, people like I like to think of myself as one of those people. I like to bring other like-minded people into the conversation. We're going to be speaking with Marky. Recently got picked up as an ambassador for Solflare. Dude's been in the space grinding for quite a while. I've had this guy on my spaces. I've done a podcast with him. This will be the second time that I've brought him on a live stream in the last 4 years. Trust me, I've been following this guy's his work and I don't know what he's doing here for as long as I can remember. But I was looking back just through all of my stuff, and I was just like, damn, I've really have give this guy an opportunity to share his story on here quite a few times, and it's cool to see it. It's cool to see it come full circle. Like, I was looking at my podcast that I used to host, Solana Made Simple Podcast, which I really would like to bring back for a co-host right now. If you want to be a co-host, let me know. We'll do it once a week. We'll talk about anything and everything, crypto related. I'm trying to get a little bit away from the Web3, because when I say Web3 to anybody outside of this, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, well, it's crypto on the internet. They're like, why don't you just say that? I'm like, yeah, you're right. Why am I saying Web3? Because we are. Maybe it'll pick up. Maybe it becomes mainstream, but you can just say crypto and people understand way, way more what you're talking about. When you say Web3, they're like www Web3. I'm like, no, it's not www Web3. It's anyway, crypto. Just say fucking crypto. So much easier. When this is what happens to you guys. Like, I saw somebody that was at a Solana Accelerate. Terrible behind the camera. Did not have much of a presence. Does not carry energy. Very, very much not the articulate person you want representing your brand and your company. Because when I see them, like, no, thank you. This is dumb. And they don't look confident as it is. And then literally one of the first things they posted was like, "Oh, I got to work on my content." I'm like, homie, you don't even work on your content day to day. I've watched you. I watched you move from one project to the next project, and your content is speaking in a space very different than human interactions. Also, you start to see that the pretentious people that kind of act that way, they don't have the best human relationships. They're better behind a screen because they have a facade, they have a persona. The other people that are in your face, like me, it's I deal with people. I deal with the face-to-face interactions. I understand how to, curate a conversation. I know how to carry a conversation. I know how to speak to people. So that's very telling. And there's reasons people are in certain positions. But if you're going to talk to people out there, make sure that you take chances. Make sure you don't wait to go to an event to start becoming a content creator, because it's doing yourself a disservice in whatever you're representing. It's just like, what the fuck did you just get given this role? Because you're not good at it. Not saying that I'm going to take the role where I want it. I'm just saying, as a reflection from all the different companies and people, there are some people that maybe shouldn't be behind the mic, the camera. Maybe just behind the screen's good. Maybe their little mingling and their connectors and stuff like that are good there. But if you're going to be a creator, be fucking open like this. Be willing to make mistakes and be unauthentic. Like, don't be a cookie cutter, what you think everybody wants. Be you. Like, look at me. I'm not, trying to curate this to make anybody specifically like me. I'm probably pissing somebody off with the way I am and my language, but it is what it is. Like it or love it. I mean, somebody used to refer to me as the Howard Stern of Web3, and I thought it was fucking hilarious, but I get it. I see it now. I used to watch Howard Stern as a kid growing up. I was like, this fucking guy's crazy as shit. But he was the first one to do talk radio without giving two shits about, what anybody thought about it, without like hurting anybody's feelings. He just raw, rugged, some borderline crazy shit that I probably shouldn't have been watching at that age. But hey, man, adds to the character, But again, my goal with all of the content creation is to, share what's going on, highlight people, and help raise them up. And like I said, this evening, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be bringing Marky on for SMS Live with a one-on-one, talk a little bit about what he's been doing, from selling wine to selling cars to posting the cookout spaces to, all of that kind of stuff, and his content, journey now that he's getting into, actually creating content. We'll see where we're at with that. I do like to see people, stepping into that realm, especially someone like Marky. He's good with people. Being a car salesman isn't the easiest job if you don't know how to connect, if you don't know how to vibe with people, you don't know how to interact. You're gonna find some hurdles with that job. Being a server a couple different times and working at pubs and all of that kind of stuff. Like, my goal is to be a bartender and a bar back. I really like that, just because a lot of the people that show up to bars, they need to have somebody to have a conversation with. Like, I've been at that point where it's like, you know what, I'm going here because people that go to bars like to talk to other people, whether it's about their problems or just to have a friend. There's a reason, and there's tricks of the trade when it comes into that world of human interaction. And that's again, that's why I've always been very outspoken. That's why I've been in your face. That's why I put myself out here. That's why when you see me at these IRL events, it's another level of interacting. I've onboarded people at cash registers checking out, and they're like, I'm dead ass serious. You can ask Jersey Bronco. He was the one he was like, I've never seen that before. He was like, you paid for everything you got. In the meantime, like, you're sitting here exchanging, contact information. That person never followed up with it. But my point is, like, I was able to deliver the message when a point that they understood it, and find ways to relate what we do that they could understand. One of the easiest ways is with a wallet. I don't fully agree that we should just be going, use your email to sign into this wallet. I think people need to understand, when you are your own banker, you need to understand the security risks that are inherently there, that the seed phrase, the private keys, all of that kind of stuff needs to be iterated. If you just, just use they're going to share everything with anybody that fucking asks them and tries to scam them. You have to understand that we cannot just rely on the convenience of logging in. That should be like the third or fourth step. You need to make sure that they understand, like, Your banking, online banking is the one way that I don't know how we got into this because I want to talk about other things, but anyway, but online banking is one thing to keep in consideration. You have your username, you have a password, and you don't share your password with anybody. Your username really doesn't matter. You can verify that with anybody, but when it comes to a password, you have to change that. You can't use the same one over and over and over again for security reasons, right? So you talk to people about wallets. You say, look, you have a public key and you have a private key. Your public key is like your username. Your private key is something you never fucking share because you can sign in anywhere that this wallet or connection is established and you can get into it, just like online banking. Now, the thing about being your own banker is you remove the bank. You are now the bank. It's SMS Banking Incorporated. I'm the person that is in control of all of those funds. I'm the person that makes a decision. I pay the taxes. I do all of that. Pay the taxes. But no, you become your own banker and you have the keys to the vault. You have the keys to everything. So just keep that in consideration when you're trying to talk to people. You can't just go, well, if you get it here, the Web3 of the level. No, dude, talk to them like humans. Hey, do you invest? No. Do you understand finance? No. Okay. What do you do to make money? And they say, oh, I work. Okay. Well, what do you do with that? Well, I put my money into a 401k and they take care of everything. And then you just start to have that conversation. What do you think what do you know about your 401k? Oh, I'm in this, about 65, I can retire. And then I say, what if I told you can cut that in half? If you became your own banker, you learned how to invest into assets that have been outperforming, everything. They'll say, what are you talking about? You know anything about crypto? They'll say Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, and Solana is coming up more and more and more, which I think is really, really good context for what we're doing here. The next thing they say is, yeah, I've heard of Bitcoin. I know about Elon's yada, 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 the Doge dog and all of that, the doggy. And I'm like, perfect. You know, a little something. And that's all we need. That's all we need to get this ball rolling in the right direction. And from there, the conversation, you can go everywhere you want to. You can be like, what are you into? Oh, I'm into art. I'm into fucking weed or fucking cars or whatever it is. There's something out here for them. You can find it. So then you direct them into X. And it's just like that. It's literally that simple. And here's my tip. I see a couple people in the space over the last couple months, years or whatever, have adjusted. There's somebody that almost has the exact same name as me, but it's funny. SMS on X. I don't use let's just go to a random name here. I'm just gonna pick something randomly and read there. So, hey, what's your at? Sorry, Des. XO Mermaid Kisses. Do you really want to say that to a bunch of people in public? Not saying that she's ever going to go out and, try to onboard people or talk to them about crypto, but keep that consideration when you're making your names because it just sounds silly. Like SoulQuicks is a good one. But then you have just keep it _G. I love this motherfucker. He always shows up too, but they'd be like, just keep it _ It's like your old AOL or email, you know what I mean? You don't want to read that out sometimes, but make it something like that. And I don't know. That's just relating to people finding things that that they can see. But yeah, before we get off track with anything else, it is 8:15. And if you guys are in this far, we got 70 people in the chat. I do appreciate all your support, guys. If you go to my profile on the bio, the link tree's there. Like I said, I do content across all the different platforms. X is primarily where I network, and then it goes from there to YouTube's my focus. I want to get 10,000 subscribers. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you go subscribe there. TikTok and Instagram are the other two, and I hit them in a routine. It's like boom, 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 boom. Tidal just announced that they're going to be using their software in TikTok and Instagram, so I have to figure out, do I have to talk about all these blockchains? Or is it just crypto in general? How do I benefit off this? I don't have massive followings like some of these people, and I don't have that, I just don't have that, but I'm here and I've been establishing myself in all of these platforms except for Instagram. That's fairly new because I created SMS crypto just across the board. It made it a lot easier than, try to use Solana Made Simple, just because that's so niche when you do SMS crypto. People see that and relate it a little bit easier, but SMS crypto and all of them, and it's been growing. TikTok is probably the number one growth, but shortly after that is YouTube. Really hitting some good numbers in there. I'm really very, very proud of that. And then Instagram, It's a dog, but I still hit it. I make sure to post on every single one of them and just keep going with it. Whether I become some whether I eat off Kaido from this or not isn't my goal. My goal is to make an impact, create value, and make it easy for anybody to access it. And it's very, very um, across the board with the content and what I try to do there. I'm always welcome to feedback. If you guys see something that's complete dog shit or you want to give me some feedback, feel free. Be a little nicer about it because I might say something rude back if you're ticked at me. But I'm always open to hear something, some feedback. If you're better at the X algo, or excuse me, the TikTok or Instagram algo, yeah, give me some feedback on that too. Love to hear it. But my goal again is to grow, network, build, and get people understanding they can come over here and have just as much fun. So be sure to visit the link tree and follow all the other platforms. Really helps keep things connected. GM chat is Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Usually goes to about 8:30. Might go a little bit longer today. And then we have SMS live typically at 11. That's why I might go a little bit longer because I don't have to jump into everything else, put the content out, follow my schedule. I have a little bit of a window here. And then we have Simply Chilling every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was asked in a group chat this morning if anybody had a space. Hopefully they saw that. Hopefully they come through because I didn't see any other responses in there. So we'll see what happens with that. I always have a good time. I'll be prepared for a conversation. I don't know if my previous guest, if they're rescheduling or what they're doing. They were supposed to be there last Sunday, had some family shit or whatever the hell came up. But I wasn't really prepared. And I was like, fuck, that's my fault. But anyway, I'm the artist and founder of the Web3 Underdogs 101 art collection. These are all available by commission. If you want to get a one-of-one underdog, let me know. Hit me up in the DMs. If you're tapped into Solana Made Simple and you want to support me, this really does go a long way. Those commissions, they're not just for investing. That's just the bread and butter of how we make it here, and that's something that I've been doing. And yeah, they're exclusive rewards for holding a Web3 Underdog. I have to get with Jersey because there are a couple things I do owe him just for holding that. He is the only one in that group as of right now, so it's not like it's a huge collection. It's just it's me, and I got one person in there that wanted to one-on-one. So if that's something you like, hit me up, be able to help you out and get that going. And on top of that, I do want to put this out there for anybody listening. I know editing sucks. I know that it's hard sometimes to find the time to do that. If you need something edited, you want some help with put something together, let me know. I'd be more than happy to put together your shorts, clip your content. I'm not doing it for a penny for 1,000 likes. You can kiss my ass on that. That's fucking crazy, but I'm not going to rip you up for an arm and a leg. I asked somebody before if they could edit a video, and this asshole asked me for $350 for like a 2-minute video. I'm not downplaying him, but that's crazy. I don't know how many jobs you're getting like that. I'm not getting jobs at $350 for 3 minutes. It doesn't take that much time, and if it does, well, I guess your high ticket value, whatever. Some people say, fuck that. That's how much it costs. Okay, well, okay. I'm not your customer. I would have done it for 100, but hey, they're exclusive rewards again for holding that and supporting me. And I'm doing the best we can here to make this thing work. But again, tonight we are going to be joined with Marky for the one-on-one. Looking forward to that conversation. All right, so let's take a look at prices and what we got. Oh, look, that didn't go the way I wanted to. It's still trending up. I got a long position in on Solana. I was able to catch this at the low. There was a couple points where I could have sold for like 20 or 30% gain on there with the leverage I have. I do like that. I don't know, though. I'm just looking at this on the 15-minute, and it's just making higher lows. It's trending. It's reversing. I like what I see here. I could have escaped out of it. And one of my rules is not to go to sleep with an open trade. I did it anyway. I just felt like I knew what I was looking at on this one, and I do think that we get that balance. I'm taking a look at things here, so I'm going to remove this and let you guys take a look at what we got going on. Because I broke this down and I showed Pat where I saw the opportunity. So this does ring true. Share that. Oh. All right. So I was seeing very similar things where this was bouncing along some lines. I saw this W forming, this big sell-off right here. The RSI was at 30, so I kind of entered that, and I could have sold there. and I didn't. And I came back down here. I could have sold up here. I didn't. I was sleeping when this one happened. And yeah, we are at a little bit of a retracement here. So not to worry, just because I didn't put crazy leverage. You see it's at 35.7x there. So I do have some wiggle room here. I do have some points of reference. Now, if it does go to a certain point, my stop loss will kick in, and I won't be in this position. But I do think that we continue to trend. If not, that's okay. We have our stop loss. We have things to protect that. But seeing this 8:30 in the morning, not a big deal. I think that this makes perfect sense for the time of the day. Typically, we have these up and downs. This is a market. You got to ride the wave, and you got to be comfortable in your position. You got to be willing to struggle a little bit for the success. You also have to be smart enough not to fucking trade with emotion and shit like that too. So just keep that in mind. But Bitcoin is at 105, and it is selling off right now. But if you look at this overall, I really don't think it's that huge of a concern if you look at the big picture. It's just the way the trend is going right here. Not bad. I would like to see this pick up and kind of catch right here and come up into these areas. Sure, that's all-time high, positioning, but I don't know. I just think that this looks a little sendy. If we break this trend, we break this range, that would be something where I start to see where we're at now. But let's go back to SOL, because there is a little story behind this. Let's go into the 15-minute. So remember when I traded this one up here and I said I could see this going to fill this gap here at 160-ish, but I was just I didn't want to play that any further. I was confident with my play, my position, and where I was at. So I exited right about 160 or so. It did run up more. It bounced along the 160 range. And what did it do? It didn't go much higher than where I thought it was going to go. Again, you use this right here. You use your cup and handle or charting. Basically, if you had a line straight across here from here to the depth of your cup, once you have a handle, this should go up there. If it doesn't confirm, if it doesn't make that move, you typically go back down to the downside. And if you make higher lows, you're still in a bullish sentiment. So as you can see, higher low, higher low, higher low. It's staircasing its way up. Not a big deal. That's why I said if this drops too much further, we do want to take a look at letting our stop losses hit. But if you can struggle through this, if you can just hold your position, hold the line, let this thing work its way out, it looks like it wants to make this move. It looks like you have a little sell-off, up, comes up here, sells off, goes flat, consolidates, keeps moving up. I do think that we are going to see this reverse. I do think that 160 still is a viable play, and this is why I re-entered this position. I just saw a very similar setup. The RSI was speaking to me. The MACD was showing me the signal line was about to cross, and right here you are seeing the signal is below the orange line here, so it is kind of showing you this is showing you bearish momentum and at a little bit of a downtrend potentially. Just looking at it on this short, this is this 15-minute, but look down here at the MACD. This is what I just try to think about it like this, like exhale, deep breath, inhale. So this is mostly selling off at this point here, taking a deep breath, and it did come back up, but it didn't come back in these ranges. If you start to look at how these charts go, like if it's just going kind of flat along here, you can coast through that. Wait for it to break, wait for it to make that move, that exhale. And like the same thing as if you're repping a bench press. You take a deep breath on the way down and you explode on the way up. Typically that's how these things work, almost the same exact way. It's because it's human elements that are interacting in this. Like it's people's emotions and feelings and what they see, historical references with lines. There's nothing else to it. It's human element that is put into this. So if you think about it the same way, a living, breathing, working thing, you're going to see it plays out like that. Also, shower coffees are the new thing. I don't know where I came up with it. I just decided to go with shower coffees. But that's the trade I'm in right now. And that's what I've been kind of watching and navigating. Thanks for debate with love and difference is what helps everyone grow. What's good SMS from Nicholas from Gambles. Am I banned? That's aren't going through. GM. Type my handle in their search bar and hit follow. People rarely ask the handle. They just hand me their phones. You are not touching my phone, people. That's crazy. I'm dead. That's funny. Um, yeah, I feel that. That's a feel that I just don't hand people my phone, and I don't like that part. That's just me. I don't know anybody. They could be like, "Phew," and peel off with your phone or peel off with their phone. But that makes sense. Makes perfect sense. My daughter went work ethic. The people were bullish on me. Shout out to Tact. I'm just reading some messages, guys. So let's go through here. I did bookmark a couple things that we can kind of go over real quick, and then I guess we'll go take a look at some coins and stuff like that. Looks like we're making a little bit of a rebound with that Soul trade right now. I'd love to see it. If it goes up there, that'll be great. But I'm going here. So this is the cool thing I saw here. Follow both the links on TikTok and Instagram, and let's see. I don't know how they're going to be doing this, but I'm going to be paying attention because I don't want to flood X like I did before with the blockchain and all of that other shit. It's not the best practice in my opinion. I think it's shit. Like there was a lot of people that I had a lot of respect for, and it's like once I stepped outside of the circle of Kaido info thing, like I just was like, what are we doing here? I couldn't, like, it would be a GM Kaido. The reason I love this is because I've made so much money on this, and then the same fucking people are bitching because they didn't get the payout with Laudio or some other thing, and it's like, dog, you are sitting on thousands of dollars with a couple $1,000 fucking PFP and you're bitching about money. That's why you don't deserve any more right now. It's because you're not being grateful for what you got. It's kind of wild to think that, like, and demanding, telling people that they need to, this is the way it should be, this is what your rules say. It's like, well, did you have a contract with them? Unfortunately, people are very, very likely to break that. But just keep that in the back of your head. Not everybody's going to do what they say they do here, even if they type it. But if you're doing good, man, like, be grateful for it. And if something doesn't work out, I don't know what to tell you. Like that the whole thing should be a good indicator. Like, this isn't something you want to bet on, but get what you can, get your money. Nothing wrong with that. Also, if I don't want to follow you because your shit is just shit at this point, well, go back to being cool again and not info bot or infomercial. Like I was saying to the people, I was like, I think the timeline looks like an infomercial. It's everybody talking about stuff you could read about if you just weren't lazy. And most of the people that don't read it because they're lazy are definitely skipping over it now. The only people that were interacting with those were the people that were like, oh, these are top followers. I made a list of these people to follow. That shit's wild. Like, very wild activity. But anyway, I posted this video because this game is fun. I suck at this fucking game. I need them to put cheat codes in for me so I can type in SMS and maybe it gives me more shield or something, or auto aim or so. I'm not good at this. Like, it's a fun game. It's just I need to practice or not suck so much. But anyway, Bonk Arena game, a top-down arcade shooter. It's pay to spawn, win to earn. I did kill a couple people, fair and square, but they probably sucked more than I sucked at gaming. But the one thing is, you're gonna lose a lot of people because you're paying money to play this game. And I know it's 17 cents, but people's in their head, they're gonna be like, I played 10 of these games. Yeah, it's $1.70. Relax, dude. Like, you're not gonna win them all, Chief. And I still have fun with it, even though I'm losing. But it's built by Bravo Ready. It's powered by Boncoin on Solana. It's dope. This isn't what I applied to as far as when I said I applied to a gaming company. This isn't it, but I am trying to get a little bit more equipped with games and stuff like that. So posted this one too. This is the other short. It's about the Get Trump memes. That's the people that own the meme coin or created the meme coin. They made a wallet, and this wallet's supposed to basically be an access point for all Trump assets and stuff like that. If you went to the dinner or something, I think you get an NFT for it. Their claim is that this is all going to be very historical stuff, especially having like a crypto savvy or bullish president. And these assets, we've seen them run up. To me, kind of looks like a little bit of just hype, buy the rumor, sell the news Mostly, it's a hype train, and you can play the game if you want to. Trump at $10 does sound a little bit more like a buy, but do your own thing. It's not my one of my bigger holdings, but it's something to take a look at. And last but not least, we have this right here. This is the one-on-one with Marky at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, live and direct. We're gonna be chopping it up with the homie, talking a little bit about his journey in Web3, what he's been doing, and see what he has to share. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, and we'll see what's going on. But 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're gonna be locked in. And what else? What else? Anything else that I wanted to add? Nah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I was listening into these guys. They had some cool stuff. Very expensive cases, but they come with rewards apparently. So, oh, if you guys were wondering why I posted a picture of me, naked, I guess it's because the guy Slice said I have 2 dragons tattooed on my back. I was like, I do too. Well, I have a dragon versus a what is it? A tiger, and I explained what that was. And I also saw the guy Bread with Mega ETH. He has the exact same like concept from shoulders to the back of the knees, but instead of his right arm being empty, his left arm is, and it's like very crazy to see that, like almost the exact same thing. So that's why I posted it. It wasn't a thirst trap. It wasn't for anything like that. That's your perception, interpretation, and I'm cool with that too. It was just because it was funny and it was ironic. And if you know, oh, here it is right here. Exactly like this. But again, if you understand how much time it takes to go through a tattoo like this, nothing but respect for the homie. And when I saw it, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like what? And the thing is, he has a 3/4 right arm sleeve and I have a left one. That was fucking weird. So yeah. Somebody posted, everybody needs a Bread guy. I was like, well, I'm here. Very cool dude. He thought it was funny as well. And I wanted to share this with you just because here's some other things we could look forward to. These are TGEs. These are all on Solana. So get ready for Solana Summer. This is from Nix or Sol Nixon. I don't know how he says his name. But here's everything that we are looking at. The Solana Mobile Seeker shipment is August 4th. We have Play Solana device shipment coming out as well. Meteora TGE, Fragmetric TGE, the Vault Finance TGE, Arxium TGE. You know what's funny is like I see this and I start to notice like these little logos that all the people that have these badges and stuff like that. Pretty interesting. And then we got Drift Protocol Fuel, whatever that is, something to look into. We have lending with Texturefy. I like these guys a lot. I really, really like the lending and borrowing platform that they have. They were one of the first to have like coins and stuff like that. They were doing NFTs. They saw that the issue with liquidity with NFTs wasn't really popping, and they expanded. I think they were really the first to kind of make that move. We have Jupiter Exchange that they're going to be incorporating lending as well. I'm going to be utilizing that just because I'm bullish as can be on the Jupiter ecosystem. Solflare debit card launch. Very, very, very excited for that. If you guys are not signed up for this one, for the wait list, go to Solflare, get yourself set up for the debit card launch. Very cool thing to come out. The Clanosaurus TV show and game. They just made an announcement that they're partnered up with some big players in the game. Getting a lot of love from Azuki Doodles and Yuga. So yeah, Solana on top, man. Really, really cool to see Clano. If you were holding Clanos throughout this whole time, adding to the collection, buying the dips when you could afford them, good for you. Really, really dope to see that. And recently they kind of launched the this Popkins, which is like a kind of like a TGE digital style thing. I didn't buy into any of it. I just don't have the funds to, kind of go into a bunch of other things. And this is the, like, for me and anybody in this position, if you don't have a huge bankroll to start playing around in this game, focus on one thing. Do not try to like jump into every single hoop. That you're just going to kill yourself doing that. Not literally, but like you're really going to wreck your game. If you only have a small amount of capital to work with, I would honestly try to preserve as much as you can and learn like a couple different things, like whether you're trading meme coins, looking for entries, and that's very risky and gambly. There's people that are super successful with that. Typically those people are the same people that are in back chats and have access. You can find trades, you can get lucky, but like there's this one guy, he has like a trading group and all this kind of stuff. I called him out before. I was like, yo, you kind of preach your teaching, but you're teaching people how to gamble. And he was like, no, I'm teaching them how to trade. And I'm like, I don't think that's trading. I really think you're teaching them how to gamble into meme coins. And I don't think he likes me that much because, like, I'll say GM to him, they don't even fucking respond. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. But those kind of things are evidently, kind of greasy salesmen, because if you look at them now, it's like, well, how do I know that you drew this line before this thing happened? All the whatever. But now they're going into the more educational route. They're going into, teaching and stuff like that, rather than showing people how to get into the trades. Well, the thing about those people that have large followings, they know that they're going to get insider information. They can sell that information for a premium. That's why that it costs money to get in there. And that's why they're willing to pay that, because if you pay to play, typically you're going to have the upper hand, whether you're a good trader or not. That's really null and void. If you get into something where somebody kind of tips you off, hey, some big investors are getting into this, you should tell your group they should all go push this. What do you think is going to happen with that? Well, a lot of people are going to get in, and then everybody else is going to run to the timeline and start sharing about how great this is. And that's just the way it continuously cycles. Just being in the space, that's the truth, man. Like, you are playing a losing game, paid groups and everything like that literally say that they have insider information. Where do you think they get it from? Like, how do you think they know that? Because it's not the first time, and this thing is set up like that, and it's constantly going to be this way. People that have whale amount of money, people that flex that they're millionaires, people that flex that they have all of this, that lose tens of thousands of dollars and stuff like that, they're not playing the same game as you, bro. And if you're trying to play that game, you better get in, you better get out, and you better be happy with your gains. Like, I'm willing to pay for some of these courses just to get a little bit closer look inside of that room and be like, what's going on here? Some of it I'm a little skeptical about, but I can't help but think and know, especially when I'm told the truth by some of these people, being in certain collections, being in certain circles in this space, you start to get not inside information. You have people that genuinely give a shit about you and be like, yo, no, this is what the truth is. And I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say anything in general or specific, but in general, be very, very cautious of that. For me, I don't post anything that I'm going to get into, or I don't post things that I'm getting into like late. Like, if I get into something, I probably post a chart that says, hey, this looks sendy. I'm getting in here somewhere around here. Other people will get in, wait till they take their initials, and then their groups are going to post that. That's just the way the game's played. They preserve the capital because this is, player versus everybody kind of thing. Same thing with stocks. Same things with every form of marketing or markets in this game. Like, somebody's got some kind of information, and somebody's willing to pay for it to win. So, I don't know. Use that information what you can. Best thing you could do is to stick to your game plan, stick to what you know, and be willing to invest into learning a new skill set if you don't have any. Like, there are some people in here really, doing some good. Like, I didn't learn to trade from anything but trial and error. I showed you guys that yellow book. I came up with glossaries, and I started to just watch and watch and watch and watch and watch. And the more and more you treat yourself as a student and you try to be a teacher, you refine those skill sets. Like, I'm not good at playing the downside of things, even though you got to look at this. Like, it goes down faster than it goes up. If you can catch the downside, you're going to make quicker money than the upside, because look how much more time it typically takes. But everything else that goes down, all of these are all plays where you could short. When you learn how to short, when you learn that whatever that is, like, basically it's when here. So this will be a little example of something I look at. So when this blue line crosses over the orange line, that signal right there, that is letting you know that this is time to short. But this will happen first, and then you'll get this confirmation right here. You see how this starts to happen? It's confirmed. You get to see this. But when you see this rounding out, when you see this peaking up towards, over 70 to 80 on the RSI, that is a good indicator that this is likely going down. Now, does that always happen? No, it doesn't. But typically, that's the way that this plays out. I just have not been as successful with shorts opposed to being bullish and going long. So something for me is looking at a long position. It's like I look at the other thing. I look at these colors changing. I look at this signal line crossing over. I look at the MACD. I look at the RSI. Where are we at? 41. Does this look like it's going to continue going down to the 30s? Not really, but you got to start changing your time frames on the short. So like on the 5 minute, this is narrowly touching. These are about to flip the green. This is looking bullish. You have, let me flip this right here. These candles are showing you a reversal. Now, it could be a very similar pattern to this, where it is kind of like a reversal, but you have more buyers stepping in because look how high the wick is there. And that continues to go. Now, if you don't understand any of this stuff, this is what you got to remember: the index cards. What's a wick? How do I understand a reversal? What is a MACD? How do I learn what an RSI is? Well, that's what you write down. That's what you go to Google and you find out, or YouTube, or you hit me up in the DMs, be like, hey, do you think you can make a video on what RSI, MACD, support, resistance, and stuff is? That's the best way for me to understand what you guys want to know. But again, that's the evergreen content that's easy to get into. So when I posted this yesterday, it was somewhere around here for Pat. And I said, look, I'm seeing the same things. Right here, RSI was right here, right? All right, so this is about where it was. I was like, RSI is around 30 range right here. It's starting to look like a big sell-off. So this looks like it probably wants to come back up, fill this gap. First stop is going to be 158. You're going to have a little bit of an issue crossing over here just because you got, where was it at? This right there. I saw something. These tops, this 157, it's just having an issue getting into the 158 range. And once it does that, I think it will be good. So there's the resistance right there. 158 again. Look, see how this kind of rejected both times? There's another point where it found support. So I'm watching this closely. This is kind of like a range across here, but from this point, this reversed this W, you have higher lows all the way through here. You got a couple different W's, and it's forming, in my opinion, what it looks like it wants to go back to the upside. It wants to get back into the 160 range. Now, previously, when I played this one, I was not playing this any higher than the 160 because I saw this top right there. I saw these points. I was like, you know what? This is as far as I want to go. Yeah, I could have ran this one up here, but then I would have had to, quickly try to get out. And I just wasn't worried about that. So I looked at this again. This doesn't have to be at the same price. You just have to look at the RSI. Like, look down here. Where is it at? 20, 30s. These are every one of these where it bounces on this 20 and 30. It typically reversed right there, right? So that's what I'm looking for. That's those kind of things. And then I just kind of use my MACD to confirm what I'm seeing. I look at, back of these charts right here. Am I seeing the same things? Is it making the same kind of moves? You can be wrong sometimes, but you just got to trust your gut a little bit. You got to trust what you're seeing. And if you're in a group of traders, show them. But if you're not, use ChatGPT or use Ask Splat. I've kind of talked about that one as well. It's basically the same thing as using ChatGPT, except for it puts it into one app, which is pretty cool. I like it. I am a fan of that. Haven't perfected it, haven't tweaked it enough, but you start to see these W's. You start to see these W's typically are good, strong signs of reversal. And when you have a huge sell-off that instantly forms a W, you had your bounce right there. Then it got rejected, but you are making higher highs, higher lows, very small, but that's your resistance right here. We hit the same point of resistance. We came back down. I have a little bit of wiggle room for it to go back down to where I need it, but I do think that this continues to trend on this way up, and putting lower leverage will allow that. And yeah, you don't want to go too heavy on these. I don't put crazy amount of money on these. I put what I'm willing to lose in case I fuck up on that one, and I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. Not like James Wynn. Maybe he should come into the chat and learn a thing or two. But you put me up $1 million, I'm fucking out, brother. I'm living to see another day, and I'm taking that $1 million and doing something good with it. But this dude, he's got money, so not playing the same game. Those are not the people you want to follow. You don't want to invest into the same bullshit and idea. Short in the market right now. Are you crazy? You got to be a dog for that, but I'm not built like that. $1 million, you're nuts. And I know he was up 82 million or some shit like that, which is even crazier. Yo, I didn't have this up the whole time. I am so sorry. I guess I should pay attention to the chat. But anyway, this is what I was talking about. Here's the W's. Here's the higher lows that I was seeing. God, I got to go all the way back here. So when I was explaining this right here, this is what I was talking about. I saw this down here, 152 range. I was looking down here. It's in the 30 range for the RSI. MACD was showing that it needs to come back up. Took a deep breath, and it came back up here. I was watching the 160 point right there, and I like I said, I could have played this a little bit higher, but I took the W, 90% on 20 something leverage. I'm happy with that. Then it sold off here. We're back here. You look down at this, confirm. All right, we went all the way down to 20s. So this does have some room to come up. You have W's forming. Those are bullish signals that usually show a reversal. Higher lows are a good sign when you're looking for a trend. But there is a range roughly right about here. Support resistance lines all the way through here. This is where we were rejected, and they skim the tops of all of these peaks. So that's something that you want to take into consideration when you're looking at trades. Is this a range? Can I break out of this range? Is there something holding it back? What is suppressing the price? All of these are questions that you got to ask yourself, and you got to start looking for them. But yeah, all of this stuff can be learned for free. You don't have to pay anybody for it. If you get a teacher, though, everybody has a coach. Every professional athlete has been successful has had a coach. They had somebody helping guide them, somebody helping them along their journey. If you can't afford a coach, that's not the end of the world. Like, it's just they want them to make a living off of your learning. And that's cool. I get that. But if you don't kill yourself over that kind of stuff, there are opportunities left and right. So what I'm looking for right now is this is looking like these areas are support for this. We have an inverted head and shoulder. We did get that breakout. I'm looking for this to come back up to the 160, 165, 170 range. Our first point of resistance is this hard stop right here. Breakout, support, rejection. Light rejection here. Like, this is why I wanted to get out of it yesterday, is because I saw this. I was like, I'm cool with that. I don't want to catch this fucking situation. I want to enter again back here. That's literally why I took that trade. And then I just confirmed what I was seeing with the RSI. Low 30s, over 70, overbought, over 30 or under 30, oversold. So those are little things that you can kind of take and put a little feather in your hat. Hopefully that helps you out. But sorry for explaining that, not showing you guys. All right, we are 10 minutes before the hour. We're going to wrap this up here. I've got to make sure we get some more content. I got a couple other shorts that I want to put out today. I'm going to try to hit 3 today, get some artwork done before we get into these next streams and conversations with these amazing people. But just to rehash, guys, we're going to be meeting with Marky at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 11:30, well, 9 p.m. is Simply Chilling, and then we have 11:30 p.m. with Dogamy. I'm going to find out how to say his name, and we'll never fuck that up again. But going to be talking to him about Drawn to Art. This is sponsored by the Bonk Art Masters. They're doing like a bunch of streams, and not streams, but spaces and stuff like that. And I'm going to be connecting with them, talking a little bit about the art journey, the story, where I've been. That's part of it. But I think that he also wanted to talk a little bit about, just staying in the game, staying, in this space and growing and building in public. Not everybody's willing to be as open and honest about the things. And hey, I think it helps. But thanks for pulling up, guys. We almost hit 100 today. We have 92 of you guys in here. If you could repost this, share this to the homies on your way out, does mean a lot, helps out a lot, because hey, we're doing this full time. And look, if you guys are watching, you got a protocol, you got a project, and you want to sponsor the stream, you want to help brand this and get your name out there, put a little segment up, let me know. Let's work together and do something. I can put some little commercials together. When this was a paid restream account, I'm able to do a lot more with the videos. Right now, it's just the free one that they offer. That's just where we're at in life, guys. No big deal. But I'm able to, I don't think I could show any of these right now. Nope. But I can make commercials for you guys and, help you get more exposure. I was actually sitting in a Discord yesterday, which was really, really cool. Listening to what they're building. It's a real world like infrastructure for commerce. Basically, it's a Web3 Shopify protocol. I guess that's the word, or app or something that they're building. But anyway, I happened to just tap into the right post. I read what they were doing, ended up getting a message, and I jumped into Discord and sat there for about 45 minutes. And I loved everything I was hearing about them. I was like, yo, let's connect, let's link, let's see if there's anything. Oh, here they are, right here. Faucet V1. V2 is coming around the corner. They got some cool stuff coming up. And I would definitely give these guys a follow. I told them, I was like, anything I can help you guys out with, anything I can, do to get some more eyes, ears, spaces, streams, whatever it is, man, let me know. That's how we all grow in this space. I just saw them grinding, man. And it was like one of those things like, hey, they have what it takes. It's a small team. They're not collecting from any VCs. Some people say that that's stupid, but I like where their heads are at. I like what they're doing. I like their tenacity. I like their, they went to the Solana Accelerate event and they networked. They understood that there is value in connecting with the right people and, just showing face is one of them, rubbing elbows, touching shoulders, all that kind of stuff. Getting into the mix is one of the biggest things. And when you have a dev, when you have, I think there's 3 people to their team, their responsibilities cannot be diminished by trying to do other things. So if that's, again, like I said earlier, like this is where I like to bring people, products, protocols, just people in the general, just doing really cool shit in the space or trying to do cool stuff. Like that's where we connect them. That's where we become the connectors, the community builders, and find reasons like to get people in there. Marky, he's another testament to this. He has the cookout. He brings people on there, does a bunch of giveaways, and builds a huge community by doing that. When I was doing Simply Chillin', very similar process was bringing on projects. I've talked with thousands of projects, thousands of people about what they got, going on in the space. Not everything I agreed with, but I gave them fair feedback. I gave them like, well, I'm going to tell you right now, like that I probably wouldn't use this because of this reason. I don't mean it to be too much of a dick or anything. That's not meant to be an insult, but like if I'm already in this space and I don't see this as a viable thing at long term, I kind of call it out and be like, hey, well, what's the difference? Well, what happens if it just runs up and I sell it? Like, what's the benefit of holding it? Well, they answered that question very clearly. They want to give back to the people that showed up early. They want to make sure that those people are rewarded for supporting early. So just keep those kind of things in mind and find ways that you can make the space better. It's not always charging an arm or leg just for a very simple thing. Sometimes just do the things they need and you'll get the things that you want. That's one of the principles that I've learned in life is, help people get what they need and you will have everything that you want in life. Like it's just, or vice versa, help people get what they want and you'll end up with all the things that you need. Like it's shown itself through and through and through. Again, my situation, I don't know the answers to everything that's next week. Some things might be going tomorrow, but we just keep moving forward and the faith will take you further. And sometimes you got to struggle for that success. But I hope you guys enjoyed the space. About an hour and a half of me rambling about nonsense. But no, there's definitely some value put in there. So I hope you guys took that, extract that, not the money. And I hope you have a good day. Peace.